From 1989 to 1999, Disney has made 10 animated features that makes up Disney's Renaissance era, and now it's time to rank all 10 of those from the worst to the best. Hey everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema, and before we begin my ranking, I'd love for you to comment down below what is your take on all of these Renaissance era films. How do you think Disney did in this era? Let me know your favorite of them all. But don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you enjoy it. And without further ado, let's begin. Coming in at last place, we have Tarzan. And while I love the way they developed Tarzan's character, how he grows up with the gorillas and learns to act like them and live in the jungle, but when you realize that the villain of the story comes from the ship where all of Jane and her father and all of the other ones are from, the villain is wanting to bring the gorillas back, except the other good guys don't know his plan the whole time, and the logic in this movie doesn't always make sense all of the time. There's different conflicts with how it runs smoothly, and while the story is good and I really like how it all plays out, it still doesn't make sense with all the villain and how he's come to be within the story. At number 9, we have The Little Mermaid, and while this film is really nice, I don't think it's a particularly bad film. I don't really get what the special element of this film is. The villain also is a drag in this film, as I don't really understand why they're giving Ursula all of these powers, and they don't really explain why she has these powers. It's a story of romance between the mermaid and the man, and I really like that element and the story of how it all leads up to that. But just with all the villain and everything that lies in between, it's just not one of my favorite films. At number 8, we have the oddball of the Disney Renaissance era. We have Rescuers Down Under, and this is the only sequel of the franchise era, and I really do enjoy the film, but there's not a whole lot of special element or nostalgia to me personally. I don't remember if I even watched the original, and if I have, I really forgot a lot about it, so maybe that's where a lot of the elements have lost points for me. But I really still do enjoy how the story flows, how all of the animals interact together, but once again, I don't really care for the villain and how he's trying to capture them, and some of the logic with that doesn't always add up. Number 7, we have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and this, coming off of The Lion King, took a really dark turn of the storytelling that they're trying to tell. They're getting all of the killing and all of these dark themes within the movie, judging this person because of his disability and his hunchback. But I still really enjoy the film for what it is, and the dark tone makes it unique for being within this era because of that. And I still really like the theme and message you're trying to get across about judging and the heroic moments within the hunchback and who he is. I really do enjoy all the characters and story within this. Moving on to number 6, we have Beauty and the Beast, and this is one of the more better romantic stories of the Disney Renaissance era, and you really get to understand the characters. I really love how it develops. Gaston is a great villain, and he's just snarky, and you just really love all of his ways that he goes about doing what he wants to do. And he's not necessarily a villain from doing evil things. He's just a light, sort of not strong villain, and you still get to like that about him because he's just wanting to marry the beauty and doesn't like the beast. With all the fairy tale telling aspects to this film, it makes up for a fun watch. At number 5, we have Mulan, and Mulan goes culturally into the aspect of China and all of the different sort of traditions and all of the things they're trying to do, keeping women out of the war. And the songs in this are just really well done, especially Be a Man. I really enjoy that song, and all of the characters within this are really fun, and you get a little bit of the romance side of the story with Mulan and the main leader. but you don't get too much of that because it's invested in everything else it's trying to be. One thing that really brings this down a little bit more than the other films is I didn't really care for the side animal characters with Mushu, the bug, and the horse. They didn't really have as much fun moments that you're really supposed to feel with the animals. Therefore, we have Pocahontas, and this movie doesn't always just focus on the cultural side of things with the Native Americans, but it also dives into the historical history of the second comings of America, the immigrants trying to find the gold. And when the romance forms between John Smith and Pocahontas, because they find out the other side of the humans aren't so bad, they're just like each other. There's the conflict between the two sides, and those two people have to figure out how to make the other side understand that those two sides aren't that bad. But the story doesn't just end with Pocahontas running off to be with John because it's a love interest. She's staying back with her family because she knows it's right, and it's not the common love interest story. Before I move on to my top 3, make sure to comment down below letting me know your ranking of all these Disney Renaissance era films, how you enjoy each one of them. To number 3, we have Hercules. This is a fun story that dives into the tale of a god that becomes mostly human but still has a little ounce of God in them, and goes down to earth and has to live his life as a human but with godlike strength. And he has to learn how to go back before his 18th birthday, because that's when Hades gonna attack his father and get control of the kingdom. And so he has to learn how to be a hero with his normal strength back on earth. And within that, there's great story development, great songs, and great character development, and all that mixed in just makes for a not only enjoyable movie but a really well crafted movie. Number 2, we have Aladdin, a story where a normal street boy learns to become a prince and learns to become his own person. Even with the wishes of Genie, he still learns to become his own person by himself without those wishes, and in the end wishes the Genie to become his own man. And this story with the romance and the side animal characters, the villain and the Sultan, are just really well crafted. All of them are really good characters, really good storytelling, and the magic added within just really adds a lot of charm to the movie. But of course, my number 1 pick is Disney's The Lion King, and this is a well crafted movie with so many fun characters, so many sad moments. It gets your emotions all riled up all over the place, and all of the side characters are fun. All of the main characters are really well developed. You really get to understand all the villains and the good guys and how all the story flows together. And all of the songs are just some of the best songs that Disney has ever produced. This movie is just really enjoyable, really rewatchable, and really well crafted, which makes it my number 1 pick of the Disney Renaissance era films. I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. What did you think of all of them? How do they all interact within each other? You click the middle button right there, that's the subscribe button. Make sure to check out my channel with all of the other videos on my channel. I'm sure you'll find something you enjoy. But speaking of which, there's a video that I picked out for you, as well as a video that YouTube suggests for you based on your viewing. So I hope you enjoy that video as well. Go check it out, and I'll be back for more movie reviews, rankings, and more.